microphone. There we go. Let's see now. Looks like Rumble is booting on up. YouTube should booting on up. Oh, looks like I had a bit of encoding error. Which, I don't know why. I never get extremely good frame rate of casting Advance Wars by web of all things. It's a web browser stuff. I get lag spikes all the time. Oh well. Looks like it's getting a bit stable now. YouTube's going. Rumble is going. Kick is booting up. And I already got a favorite. Welcome, first person who probably favorite it immediately. Favorite and follow within 3 seconds of the post. Probably somebody just going around, just liking everything, trying to get attention. And like 9 of my other posts. Okay, I'm just literally... Oh, also likes 9 of my posts. Yep. Definitely somebody trying to get a follow in return. Oh well, it doesn't really matter too much to me. Probably won't do that whatsoever since I'm just using X for a bit of a spread of what I'm doing. Either way, it looks like all the live streams are booted on up. Let me turn on the live chat windows and turn on my macros. Howdy. Yep, you did say hello, among other words. Is the other word like the? Just give me a moment, just getting all my live stream up and going. Like I mentioned as well, I was going to be casting our replay second. Looks like that's all booted up. Run my macros there so I can move around the next turn of WASD, because that's what I'm used to. And double check my other computer. Yep. Looks like everything is booted on up. Get my drinks opened up. And I think I'm good to go, so let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grid here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. It's on the north side, or its right side, as the Pink Cosmos Olaf. We got Lizura. Oh, I butchered that name well enough. Spawn on the left side as the Purple Lightning Kindle. We got Arcast. Oh, now you're on Twitch, as well as YouTube. Welcome, you twice. Yeah, this map's a little bit strange. It's one of those, I think... Yeah, this map's gonna get chaotic very quickly. Got 2 bases in the center for both sides, and base on for both sides as well. So this is a 4-base map, which is actually pretty rare. Airport in the corners. Good number 4s here, so gonna be slow going for wheeled vehicles. At least around here. It's gonna be very chaotic very quickly. Both players do also start with artillery pieces to help deny the airport. And you'll probably have to send your own artillery piece into range of it. Actually, it's going to be a little bit hard to place, isn't it? Goes for an artillery down south as well. Will Kindle go for one in the counterpart as well? Kindle could charge for an artillery piece to the city there to get bonus firepower. Ah, that's how Pink's going to handle that artillery piece. Multiple targets. I don't know if she should... Probably should focus on the artillery piece. Does hit the artillery piece there, that's the highest value target, and that means both these properties are nice and secured, and Battlecom can simply come around and clean it up. Looks like Kindle's going for tanks to advance this direction. I'm everywhere, wasn't sure if it'd be streaming on YouTube, Twitch, or both, which YouTube primarily paying attention to. Many streamers stream on Twitch and then have second feed go on YouTube. Currently, I have 5 streams going. I have currently YouTube, Twitch, X, Kick, and Rumble. So pick your poison. I don't really monitor Kick, because I only get spam bots. If I'm going to pay for Restream IO for multiple streaming sources, might as well stream to as much as I can for the basic plan. So we've got now anti-air deployed out by Kindle here, which all going to be heading down south, I'm guessing, with that placement there. This map is a bit of a brain bender, because you got... It's one of those things, it won't be hard to keep track of everything. Yeah. X does have its issues, though it's pretty balanced nowadays, so it's definitely gotten better from what it was when it was Twitter, that's for sure. Does pull back the artillery piece there to get some repairs. Looks like going to get the repairs going, but the tank's advancing. Probably do need a little bit of momentum. Good number of shores here, so this area is pretty traversable even by wheeled vehicles, so recon could be a good idea to help close the distance if needed, but easy to blockade it. But there is technically a 2-width road here for that. Does get a good shot there. Anti-air heading down south. True, there's issues for Elon. Looks like got artillery piece up north, infantry, tank, and infantry. Got double tank deployed by Olaf in the center. Does get strike there, so this airport has not been secure. I think Pink handled capturing this airport pretty nicely, and probably Pink should be eyeing for a battlecopter here with the tank and artillery nearby, though there is this anti-air, so maybe tank battlecopter could be quite nice. It has 15,000 funds, so tank battlecopter is not an option. So probably a tank. Anti-air will probably zone out pretty easily. The battlecopter will have one turn to pass to get a shot. Does finish off that infantry unit on the mountain. Does get a good shot there. Interrupts multiple captures there. This comm tower is not yet secured by Kindle, but should be kind of secured next turn. Olaf has captured this comm tower here. And Olaf right now has 2 comm towers. Does go with battlecopter. Anti-air can simply head down south and help zone out, but we do have a number of tanks here by Olaf, and this tank should be able to follow where this one goes. This tank will probably need to move up, engage this tank so the anti-air can head down south. That's probably what I would do. And try to zone out the battlecopter. Artillery goes straight to city there. Kindle does, of course, have plus 40% firepower from attacking from cities. Get a number of kills there. Anti-air does go somewhat zone out the battlecopter. It does manage to finish off the tank there, so now the battlecopter probably has to evacuate out of this area. Olaf may need to go for medium tank down here, but he only has 17,000 funds, 2,000 banks, probably a handful of repairs. I don't see any repairs, so approximately 19,000, so could go for medium tank and infantry across the other bases. Kendall goes for infantry, tank, infantry, and looks like no other artillery. Battlecopter goes straight for the artillery there, out of range of the anti-air. Joins and shoots the infantry on the mountainside. Trying to go for this capture there and should get that one nice and safely. Hits that infantry unit down there. Right now Olaf has 18,000 income versus 19,000. Does go for a tank down south. And these 2 tanks will help stabilize the region. All that Kindle or Olaf needs to do is hit this anti-air, then the battlecopter can just provide some good fire support. Kindle now has an urban blight available, which, let's see, we'll hit this one tank here, of course, another tank here. Will just cause some funding to interrupt one capture, looks like. Would allow her to wound this infantry unit there. Oh, does pop urban blight. Get a boosted shot there, the one shot the infantry unit there. Artillery is exposed, and the anti-air can probably shoot it up a little bit. Trying for some properties. Looks like Kindle may secure down south. Olaf looks like he's on the back foot. Yeah, it looks like Kindle's going to just capture down south, and Olaf will not do the same up north. He has a force here, but it's not threatening anything, so it feels like Kindle's in a great position right now. And I mentioned 75 versus 46. That's actually a very big difference. And of course, Olaf will equalize when he gets a blizzard, but Kindle can get her power pretty early. And it is coming up a lab. There are 2 labs on this map. Does take up the artillery there, hits the infantry unit there. Problem is, taking a strike on this infantry unit means Kindle can simply just park a unit on top of it. Though it looks like none of these tanks are in range to get the retaliation strike. She could try retaliating with an anti-air after maybe this tank wounds it a significant amount. Does interrupt the capture of the column tower. Tank, infantry, infantry, and tank down south. This tank, of course, can get a strike there. onto that tank. Finish off the infantry unit there. Recon. A recon's perfectly adequate and protecting this northern part of the map. And does strike the tank there. I suppose you don't need the anti-air to really strike you with 1 health left. And does go strike on the base there. It will... Olaf will win out. Won't be a clean win though. But Olaf's pretty close to Winter Fury. Just needs, what? Another 5,000 more damage? 4,100? That's pretty doable. This tank versus tank should be able to do it. Or battlecopter hitting that. Just need another little bit. Need another little bit. And there we go. 2 damage global. Kindle's now down to 59. Olaf has 51. Surprisingly over 4 bases. I suppose this map doesn't have too much income for 4 bases, so their army value is staying pretty low, honestly. Interrupts the capture entirely. This capture progress has 10 left. If he would have captured the 6 HP, they would still have enough to capture left over, but that's not the case. Does it some of those infantry units there? Tank heading up north. Tank, infantry, and infantry. Artillery can get a boosted strike from the lab. Kindle's pretty close to another urban blight, which could be useful in displacing this tank here. But right now, I don't think Kindle's are going to secure down south. There's a lot of tanks down there. She's sort of lacking tanks. True, Kindle had a very good lead, and not to mention, since she's player 2, still has day-to-day, well, after repairs. So she is about a half a turn ahead, I would say. So she's in a comfortable position, but not in a winning position. Does get a good hit down there. Goes for another tank. Has 7,000 funds, so probably triple infantry. Goes for a mech. Ends the turn 74, starts the turn 62. Finish off the tank there. Urban Blight's now available. Get a number of hits there. Interrupts the capture. Mace does stop the capture. It's the artillery piece once again, and actually takes time to shoot the recon. Yep, she has not got any pull. The anti-air's way down south, gets a free strike there, and finish it off. Tank, infantry. Starts her 23. Probably should go for anti-air. Anti-air probably here would be a good idea, but there's a good number of tanks in the region, though. Maybe battlecopter here would probably be best. Interrupts the capture, or fully stops the capture. Artillery head to the city. Trying to catch that once again. 8 health tank takes on full health tank. Anti-air tries to finish off, does. Pretty close to a high society, though this map doesn't have enough properties to really warrant a high society. Still a couple properties still despicably neutral. A C3 looks like. Battlecopter. She does go for battlecopter, infantry, tank, infantry. And when it comes to Kindle's high society, if she's going to eye it, 26 properties. So actually, no, that is a fair number of properties. So she would get a 70% firepower bonus global, which is quite significant. Like I always say, high society is actually a good superpower. It's just that Urban Blight is an excellent power. Takes on some infantry there. Finish that tank there. High society is now available. She could buff up a tank and anti-air quite significantly over here. Over here, she's pretty defensive. Olaf has a great position. Another battlecopter up here could be quite nice. Over here, that's not going to do much. I think, yeah, I don't see high society being too useful at the moment. At most, Urban Blight. But I don't think high society is good right now. Does pop an Urban Blight. Does interrupt some captures. Artillery piece there, providing good escort. 2 health tank to finish off the 1 health tank, or maybe use a 3 health anti-air. Battlecopter advancing. Olaf's pretty far away from Winter Fury. Yep. It's just a 4 health tank, so Olaf could, let's see, it's 24,000 funds. Could try stabilizing this region with a medium tank. I think a medium tank would be a good call down south. Though it does get some good damage there. Strikes some infantry up north, stays out of range of the artillery. That's an auxiliary. And this property is still despicably neutral. And I don't think that's a good idea. There's a mech right there. That's like everybody's dream to get a mech to fire from a mountaintop onto a tank. It does have 3 defense stars, but I don't think that was a good idea. The retaliation is way too effective, even if it's not on an urban property. Mech gets a good shot there and counters off and finish it off. I don't think that was a good move there. Finish off an infantry unit there. 4 health tank takes on 6 health tank. 2 health tank takes on 3 health tank. Infantry, machine guns down to health. Anti-air will take on 4 health tank, who's almost out of ammo as well. Finish off some outlying units there. Tank on tank. Artillery advancing. Multiple artillery advancing. Battlecopter hits the tank there, but a little bit exposed. Anti-air too far away. Urban Blight gets popped. Kindle's getting a bit more firm grasp in the game. Anti-air there, but she did basically donate a battlecopter. Because this anti-air does not reach nowhere near close enough. Excuse me. Olaf is pretty close to Winter Fury, which could be very handy. Battlecopter hit Battlecopter, gets some charge there. Finish off outlying units there. Try to get the power charge without needing the superpower. And that should do it. Does not pop it immediately. There we go, pops it. And even after Winter Fury, Kindle is still ahead by a little bit, so Kindle's still in a good position. She's going to be repairing armored leg for repairs, though. And we'll take that Battlecopter free. Battlecopter's down to 2 ammo. Infantry, tank, infantry, infantry. Leave 7,000 funds in the bank. It's the capping squad twice. Anti-air push way forward. Tank pulls back. Hits infantry unit there. Hits tank. Does not take it all. Does gun it down. Another tank. Not sure what. Oh, the infantry unit there. Infantry. And tank up north. Olaf starts turn 23,000, so let's see. He could go for a medium tank somewhere. Kindle ends turn 78. Olaf starts turn 75, so they're pretty even at the moment. Infantry moving, joining, falls back, gets some repairs. Tank on tank, does double tap the tank there. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, infantry, infantry. Does get a free strike there and follows it up, takes it out. Another tank there, so Kindle's will have a good core of tanks. We'll need an anti-air up north soon. Of course, the mountain tops there, so the anti-air may just need to park there and go either way. She does have 14,000, so she could go with the anti-air on this location, which can also push down south. So the anti-air here could either push south or north if needed, but this one is in this region as well. Reorganize the front line there and here. Couple mechs just to find the mountain sites. Does put anti-air there, infantry, and one last infantry up north. This battlecopter shows free reign, though this anti-air is not in range. Does get some good shots. Get some infantry units there and there. Interrupts the capture. 23,000 versus 22,000. Still got this property despicably neutral. And gets interrupted a little bit further. 12 capture progress remaining. Infantry, tank, anti-air, and infantry. Kindle starts turn 26,000. I wonder, what is the... Okay, black bombs and stealths are both banned. Kindle has an urban blight available. Don't think she needs to... she could perhaps blight this battlecopter. Could have got boosted strike there, but did not really need it though. Finish off that unit there. Infantry, tank, and probably infantry down south. Actually, she still has 11,000 funds. How quickly can it happen where the bottom right was almost dead, now attacking to the 2B area? Well, that's more or less this sort of map design. You got this area can go north or south, or this can only go north. If you focus going one direction, then you get exposed to the flank here. Yeah, this map is designed to be a bit more chaotic with the spawns. It doesn't really follow normal. It's easy to flank and send your reinforcements one way or the other way. This area is deceptively close, where there's a good number of mountains here to prevent movement, not to mention the forest, so it slows down going this way, but doesn't really slow down going this way. A lot of open plains there, a couple forests and mountains. It's probably the nature of this map, like I said. Probably not a good idea to have this tank right there, because if this tank gets on top of the city, it can retaliate for a good amount of damage. Focus 9 health infantry with 2 attacks is going to be pretty easy. Let's finish off that tank there. There's a good number of reinforcing tanks, so sacking this tank would mean sacking the tank. Got tank, infantry. Battlecopter here can help provide some fire support though. The interior is somewhat close by, but not necessarily super close by. So this may be a good time for an urban blight to get good boost damage to take out the tank. Trading a tank for a tank is probably pretty good. I decided to trade a tank for a tank, and I forgot all the shores there. Did not need urban blight for that. Oh, pops urban blight now. A decent amount of blight upon the land. Interrupts this capture. Got some damage across various units, such as those 2 tanks. And also this tank as well, so decent amount of repairs next turn for Olaf. Battlecopter strike battlecopter. I think the battlecopter won. Another boost strike there. Don't think anything can get on top of this city to get another boosted strike. But Kindle's one of those COs you really have to think about playing as and fighting against, because the fact that certain properties attack for her just gives her nuking potential is very disconcerting, because right now, with the power, she gets plus 80% additional firepower from attacking from urbanized property. I mentioned the plus 10 naturally, plus 20% from the comm tower, so she's looking at a total like plus 110% from attacking of a property, which is absurd. Colin? She could give Colin run for his money, power of money for firepower bonuses. Though a very select terrain. Is an NP satellite? No, it is not. If you look here, it tells you specifically HQs, bases, airports, seaports, cities, labs, and comm towers counts as urbanized terrain. Spent missile platforms as well as unspent missile platforms do not count as urbanized terrain. So they're just 3 defense stars. I think that one way that I can call them, as well as platforms, as opposed to silos. That's more or less my way of calling it. Let's see, Kindle's turn. We do have almost another Winter Fury. Kindle starts turn of 110 with our full day-to-day. Olaf ends turn of 100,000, so Kindle's over turn ahead advantage. Not to mention now 24,000 income. The last despicable neutral properties has been captured. There's a battlecopter. Maybe a good idea just to continue capturing. I mean, it will have one capture progress remaining. But I'm taking your turn to deal with a 1 health battlecopter. Because if you just capture, then either A, spend the battlecopter's turn interrupting, or B, take on a tank or artillery. And I don't think a battlecopter like this could finish off a 9 health infantry unit there, even with a Winter Fury. Hard to say though, probably with 2 column towers, so probably could with a Winter Fury. Anti-air could reach. Yep, that's why the anti-air did not take a short attack there. Tank, anti-air, tank, infantry. And serve 133 versus 102. Winter Fury is very likely, which will equalize the effect. These two COs do have a bit of a dynamic to them. One just nukes everything, the other one just blights a handful of things. One's Kindle's far more aggressive with her powers. I suppose Olaf has to store up his superpower, with his power only really being useful slowing down aircraft to perhaps try to snare them to hunt them down. Does interrupt the capture here. Double tank, double infantry. And probably the best reason why Kindle was not going for a medium tank, because it will probably just be slowly whittled down by Winter Fury and other sources. Won't be super great. Now I mentioned this area is a little bit difficult to attack into with all those forests. Looks like she starts regrouping forces. She may be on to push down south. Got a good number of tanks here. Olaf could eye for a medium tank here. Just got to make sure it doesn't end its turn next to an urbanized property or on an urbanized property. Oh, so may get blighted. Infantry, infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Kindle's going for 2 battlecopters. All she needs to do is take out the anti-air, then the battlecopters can reign supreme. Pulls the battlecopter back to the property. Just get a bit of repairs going. Tank, infantry, tank, and another tank down south. And serve 142. Kindle starts turn 153. Both players starting to boost, get a lot of units viewed. It's most of this game. It seems like both these players had less than 100,000 value on the field, but now since slowed down a bit, they're starting to mass their forces, which tends to go more in favor of Olaf with the blizzards. True, but sometimes you make a miscalculation and she can't get to it. Looks like she's going to head up north. We're heading down south the winter. 145 versus 176. 26,000 income versus 20,000. That's the important part. The next superpower is Winter Fury. Pipes seem slow and go on down. Looks like Olaf, since Kindle's heading up north, Olaf's going to head left with a huge force of these tanks. Kindle may need to get out a medium tank. Medium tank's a bit more cost effective on the defense than the Neo tanks, in my opinion. And probably just good enough versus all the tanks. Though she does have a pair of battlecopters. If she can somehow hit that anti-air, even second tank can hit the anti-air would be great to allow her battlecopters to reign supreme. But this is a sizable force of tanks, to say the least. And not to mention, got more tanks and a flanking force here. Kendall, like I said, probably needs to go something a bit more heavy. She has 29,000. She could eye for a Neo tank, or even for a full bomber. Probably don't go for a Mega tank, that'll be too overkill. I don't think there's any benefit killing this pipe scene other than aircraft can go leftwards easier. They can go east. But then again, going up one tile and going around is not a huge delay. In fact, it's not a delay at all because Pythagorean theorem does not exist in this game. Let's take out the units here. Looks like I'm going to be sacking the battle copters. Get a booster strike there. Winter Fury is now available. Kindle's response goal is not only going to be wounded next turn, but she's also going to be slowed down. Looks like she's going to put the squeeze on these two bases. I want to see a medium tank, or does go for medium tank there. Good. Battlecopter, that's good reinforcements. Infantry. And 3,000 funds, so infantry. Infantry. You can hit the city in one turn, primary difference. True. I don't really see that, I suppose it can make a difference. But we haven't seen that being needed, like, we haven't seen too many fights around this city. It's mostly been around here, so... I guess situational how the flow of battle's going, but Winter Fury's here. Kindle also has more value, but of course the front lines sort of collapse on each other, so... Kindle's going to take some losses. Looks like this anti-hero will not be ranged, though the mech will get a good strike there. Kindle also try to go over the Comtar. Good try, though. And here comes the tanks. The blitz of tanks. Medium tank, infantry. Kindle starts turn 136. Olaf ends turn 166, so he has pulled out ahead. Only so ever so slightly, though. You may see an Urban Blight. Medium tank a push forward. This battlecopter is in range of this battlecopter. Probably keep this one. Probably with that battlecopter right there. It'll provide some good coverage and be safe from the anti-air while also being safe from this battlecopter. Does get a boost strike there, easily nuking the tank. Pulls it back right there. I think if right there would have been fine, but oh well. That gets a good strike there. If the front lines continue being smashed together, this could be a good time for High Society. She should have absurd amount of firepower bonuses. 30 properties, she will get additional 90% firepower global, which is quite significant. And with the front lines starting to collapse on each other, I think it'll be a good time to start eyeing for the High Society. Another medium tank there. I guess the medium tanks don't really need High Society at this moment in time. Maybe useful for other stuff. Infantry. I probably would have gone for at least Battlecopter tank instead of medium tank here. Though it could have been focused down. There's two forest tiles there, so that's probably why he didn't go for a regular tank. It could have been easy focused down and then the base occupied. Yeah, medium tank's probably a better choice. Try and flip the comm tower as well. Some of these wounded tanks are being picked on off. Hits the anti-air and takes it out. Ah! I guess you remember this game. This game was last updated 10/21. Hits the tank up north. We do have the High Society available. Anti-air, tank, infantry, leaving 5,000 funds. So probably tank. Could actually a recon wouldn't be not half bad, but probably not worth it still. Let's see now. There's an argument both for the high. Yeah, there's actually argument for both High Society and Urban Blight. So either are probably a good idea. Just goes to Urban Blight, not a bad idea. Me take a finish off this tank there, and then the battlecopter get a booster strike to that battlecopter, probably for about 150% damage. I am curious. I'm guessing 150%. Yeah, 136 to 145. Close enough. It's still well over 100%. There's also an entry there. Get a boost strike there, nuking that tank. Tank on tank. Tanks out tank. Trying to flip the comm tower as well. This comm tower, thanks to Urban Blight, manages to interrupt the capture, so there's probably a better argument for Urban Blight rather than High Society. Trying to flip multiple properties now. Takes out that unit. Tank hits the anti-air. which also gives a bit more breathing room for the battle coppers, though this one would likely go down. A reinforcing one wouldn't be half bad. And now we've got these bases under threat. Tank, infantry, and anti-air. So it looks like Kindle's getting a bit more firm grasp, in my opinion, in this game. Has 147 ending turn. Olaf's at 112, but getting close to Winter Fury. So Kindle is pretty close to another Urban Blight. Trying to flip multiple properties there. 21,000 versus 25,000. Takes out the Battlecopter. We see a join capture here. Capturing for 2 health and then join it to up to 10 means it could be next turn full of capture. Medium tank hits medium tank and the Battlecopter will put some rounds into it. Mech will finish off. Try and flip the lab. Artillery's in range of the medium tank. That's going to hurt. But the artillery's in both range of both these bases. That artillery's in a great position. Sometimes we may see an Urban Blight. Trying to think there's a way if this medium tank can strike this medium tank here, but I don't think so. Tank with tank. Artillery strikes the anti-air rather than the oh, that's the other artillery. This artillery should get a shot off. Oh, booster strike did not finish off the anti-air. It's probably close to 1% HP. Pops an Urban Blight. Takes out that unit there. That's going to be 120%. It's the medium tank there. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. Anti-air nukes the mech for about 150% damage. Finish off that tank there. Another boost strike there. Takes out another tank. This is the power of Kindle. All these properties in the map just becomes beacons of firepower like that as well. One shot's the full health tank. They say Kindle is definitely one of the more fun COs to watch. Just her mechanics are ones that really make you think. Attacks a pipe seam, you monster. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry, and infantry. And here comes the Winter Fury, but Olaf's down to 60,000 versus 127. Oh, he is really hurting. The snow also really hurts, down to 95,000, lost about 30,000 damage, or funds. Finish off some outlying units though. Let's take out a mech there, trying to flip a property. Not sure how to feel about Kindle. She was always a pain to brain out in my match I submitted. She's definitely one that makes you think, that's for sure. Probably the closest equivalent to Kindle when it comes to her day-to-day power is probably Lash. After all, Lash will get technically 30% firepower bonuses from her cities. But of course, still not the same. And her power and superpower is a bit more powerful. Primarily the power, because Lash's power is just overpriced in my opinion. Let's get some good picks here. Try to flip a property. Takes out the medium tank. Does not take time to hit one of the regular tanks. Though this artillery's a bit wounded now. I think it'd be a good idea to not capture this property and just have this 8 health artillery get onto it immediately so it can just start shelling the base. I think Kindle may need to go for more tanks up here, but will of course slow down and advance over here. Both players now well below 100,000 value on the map. Tank, and infantry. Managed to knock gun down that property, takes out the infantry in there. Does finish it off. Thank you for the follow, Arcus. Welcome to the stream. I probably still butcher your name like I always do. I'm horrible pronouncing names. I think the purple push will falter. Hard to say which player feels more ahead. It does feel like Kindle to be. Yeah, it feels like Kindle. She does have income advantage, which will hold her off a little bit better. particularly when every few turns you just lose 20% at least. Drone captures there. Tank, infantry, mech, and battlecopter. 77,000 versus 81, so Kindle's still about a turn ahead in value. Though she is behind in unit count. Does feel like Olaf has a lot more infantry units there. 17 versus 11. Battlecopter gets the tank there, and there's no into this region, so this battlecopter is going to reign supreme. Does finish off that infantry unit there. It's the battlecopter. Hits that infantry unit twice. Hits the infantry unit in the mountainside. Just picking off a lord some of these wounded units there. It's been all up brawl. Infantry. Tank. Tank. 100,000, 102 versus 64. Try and flip some of these properties. A good number of tanks in nearby to respond. The only one that has to really try to stop is this one. One capture progress for me, but that's not really likely. Not a lot of surface area on that one. Base killings will always be tough. Yep. Particularly the fact that since there's two bases close by, you may lock down one, but you're going to have trouble locking down both. The artillery piece was in a good position, but the Winter Fury just slowly whittled it down, and the other artillery couldn't just make it to the city for a really good fire support. A lot of units just being cleaned on up both sides. 80,000 for 86. It's that tank there. Does clean that up, allowing this medium tank to strike the medium tank from an inferior position. Urban Blight's now available. And this anti-air is in range of the battlecopter. It's a mech there, so it looks like purple's getting good grasps up north. Pink has good grasps down south now. Even machine guns down the health of the medium tank. Anti-air, tank, infantry. Next power does cost 59,000. Next superpower costs 113. It's the tank there. Anti-air not in range by one tile. Or more precisely by one move. One infantry unit trying to capture the lab. I believe in you. And that engagement there may not be super great since the retaliation is going to be significant. Oh, well, Blizzard. Olaf is wanting Kindle to slow down. He's trying to use explosion just to literally slow down his opponent. Not to mention get plus them some firepower. Which the medium tank brawl is just not great. It's a losing fight for both of them. So I suppose it's equal. Tank, infantry, tank. She could pop an Urban Blight and nuke this tank there. This anti-air could get nuked by the tank. Nope. The Blizzard's preventing mobility. Try and flip the comm tower. Oh, Olaf does have 3 comm towers. I missed that aspect. Pops Urban Blight. Tank on tank. 3 is defense stars. Anti-air is still out of range. Now it's 2 move away. Does not take out the tank with 1 shot. Took out in 2 shots. Hits the infantry unit there. Picks up that squad. Tank, infantry, artillery. Answer 112 versus 61. Takes up the pipe scene. But this comm tower will be flipped. Hits this one twice. Tank, and infantry. 81 versus 104, so good turn for Olaf. Flips a property. The income right now is 23-23 with 2 comm towers. A lot of good hits there. Put some rounds of that mech. Takes out another infantry there. Pink's losing some grass down south. Anti-air is pretty close by the airport, so battlecopter will have trouble getting over here. Trying to flip that comm tower. Medium tank trying to get some repairs. This comm tower capture is probably just being used as bait. or I get a good engagement. 120,000 even versus 70. Strikes the anti-air, which allows the battlecopter free reign. So this, I have a feeling this tank next turn is going to be hit by all four, or all three of the 4 health tanks. And the medium tank has gone down, but killing the medium tank there like that means he's going to receive a retaliation from the urbanized property, so I don't think that was a good call. I do understand interrupting the infantry, but don't think that was a good move there. Because that medium tank, let's just say, the 1 health medium tank is worth, what, 1,600 value? If it's up to 3 health, it would pose a little threat, nothing too significant, but this was far more painful, whether it be a 3 health medium tank or a 1 health medium tank, losing 8 health on a regular, or all health on a medium tank, or regular tank. Anti-air puts a round to the battlecopter, it was going to be lost either way. Hits that tank there. No urban blight to soften that one up. T-copter, infantry, tank, infantry, tank. T-copter. Is a T-copter meant to try to capture this comm tower? T-copter is definitely an interesting option at the moment. Hits the anti-air twice. Meaning there's no more something to hit that battlecopter. Goes for battlecopter down south. Got an anti-air who could engage. Just gotta make sure this tank doesn't get hit. Hits the artillery there. And looks like I got mech, infantry, tank, battlecopter. Trying to capture a good number of properties. 3 possible flips next turn. I believe that copter has exactly 1 ammo left. Oh, right. Now it's at 0 ammo. So it's basically an anti-infantry platform, though we can just always fall back at a bit of repairs and resupply. So yeah, the battlecopter is going to be knocked out for a little bit. I don't think he's going to push forward to shoot some infantry in there. It's probably best just to pull back, get some ammo onto it. And now the tanks are blitzing the way forward. They can actually ignore the battlecopter to a certain extent. Yeah, that's actually pretty hard for a battlecopter to have 0 ammo remaining. Because usually it's dead before it even gets down to half ammo. I wonder if that was a mistake. I wonder if he forgot the fact that he's actually at 0 ammo. I wonder if that was a mistake. High Society is now available. Mech gets a good strike there, and he does resign, so maybe that was not a mistake. Who knows? This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Now, let's go into that replay you submitted to me. Got a good enough warm-up. Give me a moment to fix some of the stuff. Oh. Did I exit? Oh yeah, this thing has a little bit extra bar, that's why the top bar is sort of shown. Yeah, there's people on the Twitch side. They can always communicate through the live chat window. There we go. And maximize. There we go. And probably just probably shrink this a little bit there. Go like that. Live chat window or the chat box. Yeah, that should be fine enough. Oh, wait, no. The second power bar will be revealed. I could never figure out where to put everything. That seems good enough. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the Sentinel diagonal, we have Kirsten 1. Kristen. Why am I having trouble pronouncing that? It's Spawn, who I probably should also mention, this is a tag battle, which it does not follow normal conventions as, say, as Advance Wars Dual Strike. Based on what I read online, you don't get the double turn, you don't have tag superpowers, you just have 2 power bars that charge up, while the other one, who's not currently in effect, will have half power charge. And we also got double Kindle, I probably should mention, and the central of this diagonal, as the Silver Claw double Kindle, we got Danger Hog. In short, I can see Kindle can be summoning a lot of Urban Blights. Maybe one's going to be charging High Societies, the other one just use Urban Blights, but there's probably not a lot of properties enough for Urban Blight. There's only 27 property capture victory. While I can see up north, Max would be, of course, the primary CO, and probably occasionally just pop in some blizzards as the power charge is going. So I think Olaf's going to be taking the back seat, Max would be in the front seat, punching people in the face, or a lady in the face, twice. That way pronouncing doesn't exist in English, yep. There's very few words that have double A. The only word name that has 2 A's I can think on top of my head is Aaron. Or how the joke is, Aaron. Either way, let's get started. And Olaf does take the front seat now. Does switch between the Kindles. Is the Kindles going to be swapping back and forth every single game? Every time you hear they swap, there's a tag, but of course I can never tell which Kindle's which. They look the same to me. Aardvark? I suppose that. But then again, Aaron and Aardvark are both at the beginning as opposed to the end. Does that change anything? Even though English is my first and only language, other than gibberish, I still have trouble pronouncing everything. Max taking the front seat. We do have the artillery over here by Kindle. Though Max can always, or Olaf can use artillery perfectly fine. So Orange Star does have access to an artillery piece, or have a possible decent normal artillery piece. There's also a pair of comm towers down here, but that was the only ones. There is a seaport there if you want to deploy out a aircraft carrier. And it looks like double Kindle is going for double artillery. I'm not so sure how the tag battle will exactly go. Not to mention this map, I think it's a bit more of a meme map. At least that's what they say in the in Days of Ruin / Tiny Wars community. Because of the base deployment. But we do have now 2 bases here, so this is now becoming a 3-base map as both players capture them up. Max could take a shot there on this tank, but Kindle can retaliate, but she'll have to probably sack a bit of a production. Just keeping the tank back is probably a good idea. Artillery up north can help lock down the bridges. A lot of captures there, 16,000 versus 16,000. Tank heading down south for the winter. Got a mech now. Recon? Wait, no, there's actually 2 bases over here. Oh yeah, this is 8-base map, not a 6-base. So 4 bases on both sides. I have no idea how this game's going to go. I can never really comprehend this map. Does get a good shot there. Does not take out the infantry unit there. Does get some damage there. Recon's heading down south and north, trying to help stop the capture game. Looks like I got tank, mech, infantry. Tank will head down south. Nothing to stop it, looks like. This tank is out of range, got a mountain forest there. Not to mention just took a shot there. Looks like Orange Star is taking a significant amount of lead. And does do a base skip. With the amount of bases in the map, I think base skips is probably a bit more common. Yeah, I think the double recon was a bad play. As they haven't really influenced enough infantry, now they're being in reserve defense positions. And this single tank could be retaliated upon with the city there. Goes for a tank there who can strike this forest tile. Recon, tank, and infantry. Definitely going for 2 heavy in the recons, I would say. Max is just going for a healthy number of tanks. Currently has 7 tanks in the field. Wow, that nice easy bar to read there. That's not as easy. And does manage to pull back and tank in a spot where it does not receive any retaliation damage, and the tank will get a good shot there for free from getting retaliated upon as well. So good play there by Max. Hits the infantry unit there. Let's see on top, tank on top of the city, and in a perfectly fine spot, may receive some shots by these 2 tanks. But there are other tanks nearby as well. The tanks are in a good position there. If these 2 tanks attack these 2 tanks, and there's also these nearby tanks as well, so Max just going heavy number of tanks is overall a good call. Capture the city, artillery sitting on up there, infantry mech, tank, infantry, tank and infantry. Kindle ends turn 76, Max starts turn 77, so they're pretty even at the moment. Max does have 2,000 more income. Strikes the recon for a little bit of damage. Interrupts the capture twice and now thrice. 1 set of Urban Blights now available. Oh, we got an early Max Force. You can always get +1 movement range as well as more firepower. Takes out the artillery piece of that. So Max has a very firm grasp up here. Max can get a good shot there. Urban Blight can blight it a little bit. It's the artillery piece twice, though it's going to be vulnerable to a retaliation. This tank get on top of the city and just counterattack and nuke that tank. She could go for a full high society. With 17 properties, won't be a super great one. Tank, tank, infantry, infantry. A high society right now would, that's Max, would give her approximately +18, so that would be 24, 3, 54% additional firepower, which is nice. Let's go for Urban Blight. Does take out that tank there, but does use the 4 health tank there. If she were to try clear it out with something there, she can move a full health tank at the port and get a boost strike there. But there's a good number of tanks as well as a mech in range of stuff, so that may not be a super great idea. Recon will get a boost strike there. We'll be heading up north, we'll get a good booster strike there. Almost one-shots it. Infantry, infantry. Oh. Why did that symbol just now pop up? Oh well. Goes for infantry, tank, and mech. Olaf has basically had no power charge developed this entire game. He's more of just a backup CO power, in my opinion. Olaf is going to take the back seat. And probably be a bit of a backseat driver if Max is on the helm. Mech gets a great shot on the recon. Also start capturing that city. Tank, tank, infantry, infantry. We of course have an Urban Blight almost or high sight almost available. Does go for another Urban Blight. Mech nukes that tank quite severely. Does get a good strike there. Trying to interrupt some of those units down there. Hits some of these tanks. Infantry hits the mech hits the infantry unit there. Booster strike there. Regular tank there. At this point in time, may just need a full medium tank, but her income does not support medium tank production. Especially with 4 bases to build from. Answer 58,000, starts turn 66. And 6. Oh, got another power there. Also, move range is the key part about the power. The extra firepower never hurts. At least not him. Does not finish off the infantry unit there. I wonder if that was a bad luck roll. Oh yeah, that's 18 to 21%. That was a pretty, I suppose a bit more of a luck roll, but that infantry had the higher end of 2 health. Pulls back those tanks there. More tanks rotating around. Keep the distance away from the mechs is good. Infantry, tank. I just realized something as well. There's no airport on this map. What heresy is this? If you're not dying was insanely detrimental. We're gonna start the cap there. Yep. And now managed to finish off a 2 infantry unit there and hits the full health one. Tank's in good position, but no, tank's not in a good position because even the tank does get a first strike from the tank, the mech is in range. Tank, infantry, infantry, infantry. Swaps the COs, so Kindle becomes Kindle. So Kindle does go and take the back seat, allow Kindle to tank the reins. And looks like Max will start cleaning up down south. He can start trying to go towards this comm tower. Tank. Howdy. The map is Cossack Final. I did make a number of mistakes. To be fair, this map is pretty easy to make mistakes due to its not clear directional pattern. But looks like Max is starting to capture this base there. Of course, it'll take a bit of time, but at least base locks it. Answer for 84,000. Kindle starts turn with 55. Another Urban Blight there. It'll take quite a bit more time to capture this base now. 17 more turns. I believe in you. Ah, guess you failed. Gets picked off there. Now, Kindle could go for something heavier there, but can't really afford a medium tank there. Even though she really does need one. Try and flip the seaport there. A battleship could be annoying, but be far too expensive. Does go for medium tank there. And does base skip. Commits base skip. Max could eye for max force. Does eye for max force. There's another infantry unit there. Does take out tank. Does hit the tank there. Sacks infantry unit there. Picks off that infantry unit there. Oh, sent a tank. 5 of our artillery pieces. Oh, nope, there's a tank nearby. Mech will at least get a good strike. And it will be a booster strike in this tank there. Likely one-shotting it, particularly with an Urban Blight. That's likely. 77 versus 46, so Kindle's on the back foot. Launches an Urban Blight. A blight upon this world. Does take out the tank there. A couple of these outlying units do get cleaned on up. Infantry, tank, tank, and infantry. Olaf starts the turn. Oh, pretty close to Winter Fury, so maybe I need to get a Winter Fury deployed in the field. Just needs a little bit more funds there. His Winter Fury looks like still normal cost as opposed to the Max Force and Blast. Does get a strike there. And here comes the Winter Fury, which will also not only wound this medium tank, but also slow it down. Not even range this tank there. Hits the mech, hits the infantry unit there. Try to flip this despicable neutral property once again. Tank, mech, infantry, and tank. Kindle's starting day-to-day funds right now is at 13,000, which is not good. There's some outlying units there, but still not a great position. Tank infantry, recon infantry. Hits the infantry unit there, and there, and there. 14 capture progress remaining. Tank will strike the tank. Finish it off. We do have now another urban blight available. Another blight upon this world. Does not finish the infantry unit up there. Infantry, 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 and medium tank. And does have enough mass in front of it to prevent the tanks from connecting with each other. And with this 4 health tank here, this full health tank would not be a ranged as 8 health tank. Urban Blight there. And puts 3 health infantry unit in front, preventing this regular tank from engaging the tank. So this tank probably needs to fall back and then let the infantry unit plug the gap. Tank there. Infantry. Mech and infantry. And 66,000. Max source of 82. Finish some outlying units off. Looks like Max gonna be trying to capture this comm tower. It's the base there. This turn, I didn't think the enemy would get their power, which cost me a lot of repairs. Tank infantry. Oh, guess we'll see. Yeah, I do see a number of tanks on property, so that will happen. Does take out the tank there. Medium tank does fall back to the city. We'll get some repairs there. Urban Blight has been summoned. You have a good number of tanks on properties. Pretty much all the tanks are on top of properties, all 11 of them. And make that 9, 8. Yep, it looks like 8 tanks on top of property, so that's going to be a lot of repairs. Mech, tank, and infantry. 13,000 income. Max can bring in a max force. 73,000 for 63,000. Medium tank nukes the recon. Mech takes out the infantry. Interrupts the capture. Fully stops the capture. If this tank advances forward, hit this tank there, we'll probably get a one-shot, but we'll see some retaliation. Tank, infantry, infantry, infantry. Possible another urban blight. Good shot there. Not take out the infantry unit there, so there's still 3 capture progress remaining, so not too much. That could be drone capped, but of course got the medium tank there. Infantry, infantry, mech, artillery. Interrupts that capture. And the fresh tank and the other tank does get a good shot there. We shot that unit there. Does gun down the mech. The mech can get a good shot there onto the tank. May need to use the boosted strike there with an urban blight to get good damage from the medium tank, but of course base lock himself. Not like there's anything, but maybe the mech just need to get here and take a shot. So I'm gonna choke up the bridge, but still. Jordan captures there. Medium tank nearby. A max blast would not allow to range the medium tank there. That artillery is just going to be bait out of that location. Even though it's on top of 4-star property and get good bonus damage, probably would not be super great. Now Max can start capturing up these properties down south. Tank mech does not go for a shot of the medium tank, just trying to hold the line, but we already know the medium tank can one-shot the mech. Got superpower, decides to pull the regular power, just so he gets a 1-2 punch. Of course, something I forgot to mention as well, with the power and superpower activated, the second CO does not receive power charge, which actually is very important. Can't remember if in Dual Strike they did or didn't when superpowers activated. I think when I was growing up and I was playing Dual Strike, I just always set with tag powers. Let's be frank, tag powers are probably a good reason why to save up and not pull out power or superpower. Yeah, tag powers is a good reason why a lot of balance in Dual Strike just got broken. Urban Blight has been summoned once again. Another Blight upon this world. Artillery gets a good strike there on the medium tank. And Prawn needs to get another boost strike onto it, not letting it escape. Medium tank will strike medium tank. Tank and base skip. 89,000 for 69. Trying to capture that property down south. Medium tank is straightforward. Does pop the power. Finish off that tank there. Gets a good strike on that tank there. Medium tank will help finish off. Nothing to hit the mech. Trying to capture the comm tower. Mech will finish off that tank there, and we'll start flipping the base. Urban Blight is not available. Could help him stop the capture. Kindle will be able to interrupt it a little bit further. Well, at this point in time, Kindle's even losing everything over here, so he's just getting overran. 97,000 versus 38. Yeah, this game appears to be over. Mech is a good booster strike there. Goes for medium tank and over here, which is understandable. Do have to commit base skip over here though. And the comm power will be flipped next turn. Hits the mech twice, surrounds the medium tank. Guess 3 health infantry unit can start capturing, or is it better just yep, might as well. Could always just have abandoned it, because 3 health infantry. Make good progress there. Double taps, hits the tank thrice. Hits the mech. Medium tank, infantry, infantry, infantry. Pops the Urban Blight. Gets a number of those tanks there. Tank, tank, and swap CO to the one with more power charge. As Urban Blight, which helped delay the capture of the HQ by 1 turn. But there's enough fodder in front of the medium tank there, it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Medium tank, infantry, infantry, infantry. Pops an Urban Blight. The 3 health infantry unit can get on top of join capture the 7 health infantry unit. Good booster strike there, takes out the mech. I think as well, in order to secure the HQ capture, you don't even have to focus on the medium tank, it just simply just need to block this path. Maybe go ahead and switch over to Olaf and pop a Blizzard just to slow down the opponent. In order to help save the potential possible interrupt. But this game just feels over to me. Goes for a Pipe Runner. Perfect. Kindle does go deploy a missile. Excellent option. Both sides can now engage aircraft. And Kindle's HQ has been captured. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, do you need to use the restroom? Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. You actually didn't capture HQ, fun enough? I captured the city. Oh, I didn't see that. I just heard the capture symbol, or the capture sound effect, and thought it was the HQ, but nope, I guess you're right. Oh, either way, thank you for submitting that one in. Let's go on to the next replay. Let's see. Give me a moment to adjust the stream. Yeah, probably increase the size a little bit again. Don't worry about the tag battle. And now fix this. And expand. There we go. Oh yeah, that would definitely be a pain in the butt to play around Urban Blight. Yeah, with Double Kindle, that's why I've been saying a blight upon this world, because it just blight. Everything's just blight. And that map is also not good for high society due to the lack of income or lack of properties to capture. Either way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the north side is the Orange Star Jake, we got Cyrillic Guy. Spawn south side is a Blue Moon Jess, we got Dan Joey. This map is a 3-base map with a free black boat. Both players do have a airport. Both players do move their black boats off of the HQ. This map does support a strong side, weak side mechanic. Strong side has the 2 bases. The weak side has a bit defendable terrain, not too far away from the base. You can always go for artillery and pipe runners to help defend, but I've never really seen either, or never seen a pipe runner. And of course you lose access to your pipe runners, which destroy this bit of pipe scene. Got a recon deployed on out there. Both players do also start off a recon here. The skin item was on the strong side for a little bit of time. And we do also have a recon here as well. There's a lot of shores for the recon. After all, shores and roads are basically the same thing for recons. It's the infantry unit that's capturing up the comm tower. Orange seems to try to go for that pretty early. And of course, it's supposed to be more of his opponents. Double recon just realized by Jake. Tank here on the weak side. He does see the tank here on the strong side. Jess and Jake are also pretty two similar COs. Honestly, in some aspects a little bit too similar. Of course, Jess only supports all vehicles, all ground vehicles, while Jake supports all units on planes, including air units. Both their superpowers are pretty similar, but they provide a good amount of firepower for vehicles, or at least vehicles on planes. But also get +2 movement range for both of them. Jess is a bit more of a standard or geometric growth between the power and superpower, while Jake has a bit of weird effect where he gets +1 indirect range for both the power and superpower. They're similar, but different. Though Jake is still pretty forgettable in Dual Strike. It took me a long time to remember the fact that he existed for a bit of time. He's probably less memorable than Davis from Days of Ruin. Hell, the mayor was one of the most memorable characters in entire Advanced Wars, honestly. And he doesn't have a proper name or even CO. Comm tower being catch up by just now. We do have artillery and tank on the weak side. Jake's going for a healthy number of tanks. On the strong side, it's better to go for tanks and more mobile units. On the weak side, it can be good to go for some indirects to be a bit slower and more defensive. But right now, we do have Jess as a tank pushing pretty far forward. Jake, if he goes for the recon there, that will be a bit of a trap. It's the comm tower, interrupts it. It looks like Jake's going to be able to capture this comm tower nice and safely. Don't see anything nearby to interrupt it. artillery, infantry, and infantry. Saving up 4,000 funds. Maybe I displace this recon. I always think mechs just do that, taking it out best. Mech down south gets a good strike. Justice infantry is completely and utterly ordinary, which is perfectly fine. Tank, infantry, tank. Lots of property captures, 20,000 versus 20,000 income. Jake, of course, has his comp tower. 5 capture progress remaining. The recon could be sacked to interrupt the capture even further. Don't think that's a good idea. Had vision of the tank. Now this tank could be knocked out. The recon could be machine gunned down by all these infantry units, possibly. Maybe not. Not enough surface area. Worth a full health one from here and a full health one from either these two tiles may not be enough to gun down the recon, though a joint capture will help keep the capture progress as well. It's the infantry twice, and that one as well. Mech finished off the recon. It's the tank there. Joint captures. Yeah, it doesn't need to take time to shoot the recon a little bit, since there's no way this one possibly can get below 4 health, but I don't think it will. Jess has a good amount of force here for defense, so it feels like Jess is in a better position. Ends the turn of 89. I saw one for 90 to 89. Somehow it went down between the turn difference. Versus 66. And good spotting there for the artillery. It's the capping squad. It's the 4 health one. Interrupts his capture there. Infantry. And tank just falls back to the cities. Got another tank in this city as well. And Jake saved up 12,000 funds. This map, what does it have? All units are not banned, so could possibly see some sort of a stealth play. Yeah, we just may see a possible stealth play. Don't think it's going to be a black bomb. I don't think black bombs are usable unless it's in high funds. They're just really expensive, costing a staggering 25,000. So in order to get that much damage done, it's actually a little bit difficult. Definitely a high funds unit. And plus, it also somewhat kills your own momentum as well. Sacking 25,000 hopefully do more than 25,000 damage. Good shots there. Tank ain't here. It's the infantry unit there. Very interesting. Mech is simpler to take out the recon and then capture it compared to the arty, but has a long time getting away after that. Arty can kill it, but does need a recon infantry to see it there. Yep. Personally, I think the mech would be best because it's simple, easier. You can always pick it up later with a APC later on, but also you can always just have it run to the front line. It's cheap. Artillery is good, nice, like you said. Infantry unit will still have a bit of time escaping as well. I just feel like mech is the better option, but that's just my opinion. Does get a good shot there in the tank, because after all, infantry still needs to just run away as well. And we'll have a bit of infantry unit will have trouble escaping. After all, it'll take 2 turns just to get out of the river, across the river. Well, the mech will just be able to get actually a bit ahead. This is ahead of the infantry unit as well. Let's check out that unit there. 99,000 versus 118, so Jess has a nice little advantage there. Jake's not been too aggressive here. Most of the conflicts happen in the center. Jake does go for a battlecopter. Jess only loses minus 10% firepower on her battlecopters, so they're perfectly adequate. They're not Drake battlecopters, which are just not good. Does not have vision 8 here. May have spotted in a previous turn, though. Artillery strikes the pipe seam. Helicopter tank. Does take out that tank there. Oh, we do have now the turbocharge. I wonder how that's going to go. 3 off tank gets sacked. Battlecopter strikes the tank there, knocks it out. It's another tank there. Does strike at this other tank there. And will get machine gun down by infantry. It's the infantry unit there out in the open. We do have a block rock available next turn. But I don't think block rock's actually going to be that great. Jake doesn't have too much in the front line to really use with a block rock. And the interior is in the forest. I'm not sure if it crossed this one tile there. Artillery, no +1 range artillery benefits. Like here, the mech got damaged back when it was probably captured and leaving about the same amount of time. Total times the mech, of course, needed an APC or TCOP to move out. Like it said, dimension slowly for 2 tiles, yada yada. Like not a lot like a mounted tile, so make mechs great again. Yeah, I suppose there's an argument for both. Probably somebody could probably take time and really specify it, but a mech will of course take 2 turns to get here, then 2 turns to get there. Infantry unit will take a turn there, and then turn 2 there, and about turn 3 is when they're getting pretty even, so mech can probably get all the way over here, but +1 turn for capturing since it does get wounded a little bit. Yeah. Does get some good shots there. Block rock, +2 range is all making units go a pretty long way. Of course, he does get additional firepower from tech from planes. That is a short tile. Takes up the pipe seam. Got additional firepower from being on top of planes. Decides to take a shot from the platform, which of course will give him more defense as opposed to offense. Now probably be less exposed than going right there. Tank, artillery, or tank, battlecopter, mech, and infantry. Destroys the pipe seam there. And now the medium tank pushes forward on top of a city in vision range of Jake. Interior gets some good shots there. Does take out some good rounds in both of those tanks there. Jess looks like she will interrupt or get that property captured. He will need a power in order to range it, but of course he's at 0 charge there, so it looks like this will be flipped. 25,000 versus 24,000 income. There's still one property probably despicably neutral somewhere. Where exactly, I'm not sure. Oh, right there. There's a despicable neutral city. I think it's a good strike there. Finished off. Trying to flip that property. Interrupts that capture. Shoots the battlecopter a little bit. Takes out the infantry unit there. Tank strikes anti-air. Mech will finish it off. Or, nope, it did not. Battlecopter, not going to worry about the 1 health anti-air. Infantry unit does gun it down. Slots a bit of cleanup in the center. Just now is a full overdrive, which actually won't be super great at the moment. Yeah, I don't think it'll be super great at the moment. Trying to see where the +2 movement range will be useful. What engagements? This anti-air cannot range the battlecopter. This tank can range something. The medium tank can range something. But that's about it. Recon hit an infantry unit there and just be annoying. Of course, our cast division, we know about the artillery piece there. This artillery is out of range. The funny thing as well, if the recon pushes forward like this, if he gets some power, he could perhaps range the artillery, and this artillery would be able to range some stuff as well. It's the artillery twice, and now thrice. Good damage there. Yep, decides not to go for the overdrive or turbocharge. There's actually probably been an argument for turbocharge, because the 1-2 punch is Probably would be better. Depends if she needs +2 range and extra firepower or not. Or one and some extra firepower. Battlecopter, tank, or anti-air, and infantry. He does have access to a beatdown, which could, of course, give us artillery +1 range, which could range us artillery there. Of course, I don't think he has vision of it, but does go for the beatdown. Okay. And use the artillery strike to recon. Does not know about the artillery. It was in fog war this entire time. Does not get additional movement range for any of his vehicles, just +1 indirect range. Medium tank, that would be a good spot for it. Tank infantry. Recon takes out infantry there, does take up battlecopter. Don't know if that beatdown was great. The only thing he really got was one strike on a recon there. Yeah, I don't think the beatdown was a good idea. Save the power charge. There was not enough value from that, in my opinion. Two battlecopters in the area could probably double tap the medium tank. Anti-air can be struck by the tank and anti-air. Does spot the artillery there, but we'll get a good strike. Mech is a good hit there on that tank, and does finish off. And turn on top of a city there. We do have Neo tank on the weak side. And Sai just pulled back out of that region. If the artillery providing coverage for the medium tank, though not great coverage from this one, that should be adequate enough. The medium tank could charge while hit the medium tank, but of course, it'll be a shooting gallery. Goes for a full overdrive. Neo tank sprints out of the base. Hits the tank on top of the HQ. Anti-air strikes the... Ooh, this overdrive is reaching pretty deep over here. Now the medium tank is lacking a bit of support. A beatdown could provide some fire artillery support. And this one is on top of a plane, so we'll get additional bonus damage there. Looks like the medium tank will not be touched. It is out of vision range, though. This regular tank could get some good spotting. All depends what he do. Of course, we would be out of range of everything, other than the medium tank. Does side strike the regular tank rather than trying to strike the artillery there, so this artillery is going to be counter-barraged. Does spot the Neo tank. He's going to need to get something a bit heavier there, but he already built a medium tank this side. Does get some hits there. Mech recon. This Neo tank is going to cause some issues. Maybe the mech will get a first strike on the Neo tank. Won't be great. Cost effective, but not great. Medium tank will strike the medium tank. We've got another medium tank here. With the planes nearby, can get a booster strike onto it. One capture progress left on the city. So it does actually need to interrupt or full deletion. And right now, Jess is at 27,000 versus 23,000. Battlecopter, medium tank, infantry, and looks like she will commit base skip. Block rock available. And that could allow this tank to sprint around and hit the anti-air. Good spotting there. Medium tank will decide to interrupt the capture. 3 health left on it's not great. So, might as well. Booster strike there. Man's one-shot it. Very nice. He probably did a bit of a move planner or damage calculator there before sending the medium tank down here. After all, if that would have not one-shot, I thought this stay off medium tank will probably take it out. But since he knew this would do enough damage, he sent the medium tank down there. So it's probably going to be knocked out by mech, but it's 3 health medium tank. It's not going to last for too long either way. Artillery gets a +1 range into the Neo tank. Very nice. Not on top of planes though, but good enough. Double taps the Neo tank. Is also on 0 defense stars, which is very good, so the Neo tank goes down pretty easily. Overdrive available. Yes, I did say that was a plane style. It's one of the things as well, it's like, I can never know how much damage a medium tank would do exactly versus another medium tank with all the various different bonuses. We do now have a turbocharge, the power, not the superpower, being activated. Which means you have a good amount of charge left over for another power, which is very good. 1-2 punch concept is very good for many COs. Look at here. Not sure. Yep, you guys can see it barely. 3 casual progress remaining on a 3 health infantry unit there. I actually sort of curious about that. How close was that to 47 to 51%? Oh, she rolled lower luck. It was likely a bit of a coin flip, so she rolled a little bit poor on the coin flip. Not to mention, you can never know the fractional health as well, so it probably would have been pretty safe to do 5 points of damage rather than 4, but it must have had just 70% health. Artillery strikes one target. Artillery takes on another. Oh, that was a regular tank there. So this artillery won't be in range of everything. Thought he probably would use the artillery there. Guess not. Maybe he's trying to keep this one hidden. Probably had a vision of it. Not sure if he just had vision this forest tile if anything entered it. So maybe try and do something sneaky there. Battlecopter, artillery, and mech. Well, won't be able to range this tank, won't be able to range the medium tank. Too close. Times the artillery piece, which was the anti-tank. So unfair, broken pipe scenes are just planes for Jake, but bridges are... Yeah, I think bridges should account for coal. If Advanced Wars Wide Web does any balance changes, which I understand why they don't, that would be one balance change I would support. But beaches should not count for coal, even though they're basically almost the same for most aspects, barring naval landings. Because one thing is as well, like, it's also a bit of a design feature of the map. You could put a road there, or you could put a bridge there. For a map designer, they want to make it look at least nice. But, of course, it also does have implication it does not affect coal, when it probably should. Good strike there. Recon, infantry, and medium tank. Though whenever it comes to balance changes, you can always make a justification that this cartridge had this version of the CO and could receive that sort of variation of it. Sort of like Eagle's Lightning Drive, as opposed to Lightning Strike, the DS version is a very fun version for useful for hidden runs. Medium tank, infantry, and tank. Or say Sonya having capability to ignore defense stars as a day-to-day power, which could actually give her a reasonable buff. Now let's take out the tank there. Good strike there. Artillery does take strike there. Capture the city, takes out the recon. Oh, stealth. Also, I do believe missiles should have the capability of hitting stealths. I know that's not like that in any game version, but I believe missiles should be able to do that. Gives at least another option to deal with stealths. Just go the Tiny Wars route, have a OG version of the game players, instead of a modified version to update for competitive play. Yeah, that is a good aspect. Though a lot of, I know it's a little bit of a mixed opinion about all the custom COs they added, but seeing the CO supplies a little bit small there, some custom COs can be quite nice. But that's, of course, how drastically different Days of Ruin is from Advanced Wars proper or standard? I don't know how to properly consider that. We do have now another overdrive available. Could go for a double turbocharge as well. Recon, battlecopter, tank. Stealth is stealthed. Good strike on the battlecopter. Oh, we got a beatdown. I guess with a +1 range, he really wants this artillery to range it. It's on top of 4, so it won't get any boosted damage. We will see boosted damage there. Doesn't one-shot it though. Good hit there. Mech is a good shot. Battlecopter gets boosted strike there. Does not finish it off. Recon will hit the capturing squad, leaving 1 health remaining. 4 capture progress remaining. Goes for tank, infantry, and medium tank. Pulls back the medium tank. It's the mech. Does get a good round on the battlecopter. Trying to flip the or the lab now. So Ornstar's been getting a decent amount of vision there as everything passed by. Neo tank, infantry. Let's see now. 145 versus 145. It's day 24, and both players have nearly identical value in the field. Jake has less units. Jess has more units. See, it feels like Jess has more tech on the field. The stealth, however, is a power play unit, which there's no fighter just yet. And of course, the stealth will be able to take out everything over here. Good strikes. Artillery does strike the recon, tank, battlecopter, infantry, and mech. Now we've got the full overdrive now deployed in the field, allowing the Neo tank to strike the medium tank in range of a powered. Actually, another beatdown could double tap that Neo tank with artillery. There's going to be argument for a beatdown next turn to beat down that Neo tank. And spot the stealth there. Probably like, oh, what's in the forest? Oh, there's a stealth right there. Immediately fighter. Yeah. That's actually really good for Jess to figure out the stealth. The stealth did not get a first strike in, which means Jess has a full turn to help respond to it. A full additional turn. Yep. And the thing as well, the artillery and everything else over here can start engaging. When it comes to the stealth as well, Jake can also estimate how far the fighter is to reaching here, so he probably knows he has at least, he can probably charge forward, get a shot off, and then fall back in time. Recon charges forward. Stealth can hit the medium tank. I would say go straight for the medium tank or artillery. He knows he has a turn or two before it arrives. Pops a beatdown. He's going to beat down that Neo tank. Double taps it there. And the regular tank does finish it off with a boosted strike from the planes. Stealth will strike the medium tank with the boosted strike from the planes as well. Would it be a good idea to do with the boosted strike or use it for power charge? Yeah, argument can be made for either way. Probably one extra point of damage or extra power charge. Next turn, the fighter, it will reach there. If he counts his Tao's route, he knows that he's out of range. If he stands right there, he will be out of range. He's trying to surround the stealth, but it is safe this turn, but only for this turn. Tank, battlecopter, artillery, infantry. Jake probably should have gone for anti-air here. He knows the stealth is right here. Wait. The stealth is actually running out of fuel. It burns fuel a lot. It's going to crash. It's going to crash out of, due to the lack of fuel. I just realized that. Oops. The fighter was not even needed. He needs an APC, but even then, this is going to be burned, what, down to 10 fuel next turn? It burns like 7 fuel per turn, or... It's like a ridiculous amount, I always forget. Next turn, he has to... no, the black bolt needs to be over here. He needs it over here. Yeah. He can only make it like move like a handful of tiles. He can't even take a full move turn. Yeah, it's going to crash. The fighter's worthless. The stove is largely worthless. At this point in time, Jess could just not deploy a fighter and be perfectly fine, because it's going to drop all the sky before the fighter even reaches it. Whoops. Mistake from both sides? At least the fighter can at least stick around and shoot down battlecopters. It's the artillery there. She sees it's lacking fuel. Medium tank infantry. Repairs the medium tank. It's down to 10 fuel. And it will consume 5 fuel once unstealth, so it can move 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, unstealth. And APC would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need a superpower of fuel to get it resupplied in fuel. Yeah, I have no idea if he should try saving it or not, because the chance of getting a superpower is also unlikely. Yeah, I think it'd be best to have it attack something that's actually not the fighter and just not deploy any battlecopters, keep its battlecopters on the right side of the map. Unself's there, but will consume 5 fuel per turn. It's gonna crash. Nope, it's gonna crash. Unless I'm mistaken, I thought for us fighters, anything that uses a plane's movement type will be stealths, fighters, and bombers consume 5 fuel per turn. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter, and APC. Gets trapped there with a 1 health infantry unit there. She does go ahead and get stuck like a stepsister. Artillery with a power will be in range and stuff. Hits the recon there. Does miss this artillery there. Medium tank, recon, infantry. And the stealth gets fell to the ground. Oops. That also leaves at 157 versus 160, so pretty even. And now we got a dead stealth and a pointless fighter. I probably put too much emphasis. I just find that too stupid. Takes the medium tank there. Yeah, I think that when the stealth was moving around here, the black bolt should have been following and resupply as soon as it leaves his range, before it leaves range. Does use the battlecopter, does pop the power with some power charges left over. Now can range the medium tank there, could arrange either, decides to go with the wounded one. He drops the capture, ATR takes up battlecopter. Mech gets a good strike on the tank. Black bolt drops off the mech, only could drop off 1 unit there. I thought there was 2 units loaded up inside. Don't see the other one. Mech, battlecopter, recon, and tank. 119 versus 179. Does spot the battlecopter there, knocks it out. Almost enough for an overdrive. Does get trapped there. Medium tank good shot, but it's going to be shelled by the artillery. Also does spot those 2 medium tanks there. Fighter advancing way forward. Fighter should just try to be in the area where the battlecopters will likely be. Overdrive available. Recon medium tank. Mech gets good strike there onto the anti-air. Hits that medium tank twice. Oh, and does get trapped there. Mech infantry. ATR does take out the infantry unit there. And that was to supply the medium tank, which is actually running low on fuel as well. At least the APC is not going to be totally useless. We've got the full superpower now being put on the field. Overdrive. Medium tank will strike medium tank. Artillery will strike tank strike artillery. Does take out that medium tank there. Hits the APC for less than 10% damage. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Do you see another beatdown available or possibility? This artillery piece will not be in range though. This one's already in range of this tank. This one, of course, in range of the medium tank. Over here though, with +1 range, it'll hit the 3 infantry unit there. Yeah, I don't see a beatdown being useful this turn. Jake is, of course, going to be is getting a bit of a hybrid style between Jess and Grit at the moment, making good use of +1 range. I guess Jake can be a hybrid between the two. You can see Jake's been constantly deploying artillery and keeping them in range, keeping in mind both their 3 range and a possible 4 range. So he's doing quite a good job on that aspect. This APC is going to be shelled. All of these the 2 health infantry unit there, artillery to strike the recon. That's still a higher priority target than most times in the APC. Does strike the recon there. Does find the 2 artillery a little bit late. Anti-air, tank, and tank. It's turn 142, starts turn 136, so they're still both pretty even. Though that fighter's still a little bit dead weight. Always view Jake as a wannabe Grit. I can see that. He mixes a lot of different aspects. Of course, Dual Strike had a lot more terrain COs. When I say a lot more, I mean... Oh, technically 3. Got Kindle, Jake, and Cole. With aspects of both Jess and Grit. He's a weird amalgamation. While trying to be hip and cool with headphones. If they want to modernize them, they will replace them with earbuds. And I hate earbuds. They always fall out my ears. Does come to the strike there. Fighter scouting out. We do now have a whole superpower available for Jake. Though, don't see him being too useful next turn. Yep, it's probably not a turn for the superpower. Does pop the battlecopter there. Sonya also has an annoying ability to reduce terrain stars in DS, which actually makes her a bit more balanced. She is like bottom tier CO, unless in Fog of War, she's in second bottom tier. Does use beat down there. Gonna be beating down that medium tank. This 2 health artillery can take out the 1 health artillery. And does get a good shot there on the fighter. Oh, and Jess has resigned mid-turn. I think she still could have won out. There was no decisive advantage there. She did take some losses that turn, but she still could have pulled back. By the way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Just need to use the restroom again, and then probably have time for one more replay for tonight. Please give me a moment. apologies, I'm back. Yep, broken pipe scenes, since they are planes, they are planes. After all, if you highlight it, would read out planes. Either way, let's... one last replay tonight. Let's get some other COs. Could do this one. Sasha for Hawk. I never really like Sasha games. Her power just makes it... We'll just do this one. I just don't like Sasha games in general. It's like, let's take an aspect of the game and just make a CO just remove the aspect. And there we go. That should be... oh wait, I just realized something. There we go. That should be good. So let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the bottom right side as the black hole Kindle, we got There to Be James, number 5. Small on top left side as the... what is this? I always forget. Azure Asteroid, Drake. We got GH_ST. So let's get started. This map is a 3-base map. Both players you start with a black boat for a tiny bit of spotting. Can be circumnavigated, but you have to go through a slower advance with double forests. A number of pipe scenes are slow down the advance. Closing out this pipe scene will give you +1 movement range. This one will give you +3 or +1 this way with the forest there. It's minor advantages. All it does add up in the long run. And they'll mention if you're just going to go for artillery piece to help clear the black boat, you can always clear out the pipe scene while at it. Sasha vs. Hawk, it just feels like a Lancelot running from Mighty Python. Yep. Artillery got deployed on the field by Drake. We're probably seeing more battlecrafters deployed by Kindle. I just find Drake's -3% firepower on battlecrafters absolutely crippling. I see a lot of stupid things by Drake battlecrafters when they do such pathetic damage, particularly from units on top properties. And Kindle loves having units on top of properties to retaliate doing severe, massive damage. More like I'm going to have a black wave and eventually hurt eventually. Yeah, when fighting Sasha, don't even bother with trying to save up suit power. Just go powers. Do now recon deploy here, double tapping the pipe scene, and then probably go over the black boat afterwards. That was good, that pipe scene there. Now Kindle has +1 moon range. Let's go through this forest there. Got now another tank infantry. And to a certain extent, just 1 HP at a time. Battlecopter or infantry. So we got an early battlecopter by Kindle. Not to mention, this blackout will be cleaned on up, so the battlecopter will sneak on by. You have this tank is spotted. This tank, of course, is on top of a property. Tank, recon, and infantry. It's the infantry unit there. Double taps it, captures it up. Takes out that tank there. Does have this tank spotted nearby, so this tank should be pushed forward. Help try to get a good angle on this tank. Of course, it is out of vision range. Could push forward to be exposed, so it can receive a shot then retaliate upon. Be a bit of a bait technique. And does hit that captain squad twice. Before I go for interrupt down here, maybe with self-infantry first, or at all. It pulls back both these units there. Now the black boat goes down. Drake's tanks completely and utterly ordinary. No damage loss on them. Infantry, anti-air, and another artillery piece there on the slow path. Does have a tank there. If push forward hit this tank, it will receive some retaliation damage as this tank just pulls back. Another one gets on top of it. So we do have 2 tanks there. This tank here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 tanks are in range. Does spot that squad there. Insert for 76 versus 64. Spots both those tanks there. Now Drake can get a triple tap on these tanks here. We'll perhaps have to worry about a single battlecopter soon enough. Kindle can skip anti-airs when fighting against Drake and just use battlecopter to strike battlecopters. Drake's battlecopters, like I said, are not good at all. Anti-air, infantry, and infantry, so going a little bit heavy in the anti-airs. And these tanks do not be struck. Does get a good shot there, put the artillery in range as well, very nice. This tank is going to be a bit of bait. And she's going to have a good core of tanks here. 5 tanks this region with a good artillery support. Does get the shot in the infantry there. In-range artillery, spots the artillery and the tanks, just not this tank. Gets the pipe scene, so he looks like going to clean up that pipe scene as well. You usually don't see this pipe scene get cleaned up too often. Medium tank, infantry. A lot of boosted strike there from the cities. This tank here will still cause an issue though. It's the recon, does not take it off the artillery, so the artillery is designed to be repositioned. Good cap, yep, start capturing up that city there, and we'll have some good support there. Battlecopter, recon, and artillery. That was a good strike there on that pipe scene. Tank, anti-air, infantry. 89 versus 103. Good strike up there. No anti-airs in range, so that's a good path for the anti-air as well as the tank. Now this tank could receive some damage there. If the tank gets on top of the city and fires, it will receive an urban blight. And it looks like Kindlestorm blitz up north of our tanks. Guns down infantry unit there. Does hit this one as well. Takes it out. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Finish off some of those units. It's the capping squad. Takes out the pipe scene there. We do have a tsunami available, as well as an urban blight. I don't think urban blight should be popped next turn. Nothing really used the extra boost damage. It will just be trying to do damage to the reinforcing units there. You can see Drake has been largely off all the cities. It won't interrupt any captures either. So yeah, I don't think urban blight would be a good idea. Does pop urban blight. Just trying to do damage to her opponent. But I do think Urban Blight should always have an idea of keep in mind with the extra bonus damage from attacking an urbanized property, because that is immensely powerful. Does get a good amount of damage there, at least get +10/+10 global. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Kindle have 133. Drake has 93. Possible Typhoon this turn. Does the battlecopter hits the tank there? Yep, there's going to be a Typhoon this turn. And now Kindle's down to 89,000. Drake's at 92. Some of these tanks are at 1% health. Even machine guns the tank a little bit there, trying to get as much damage before it attacks it. Kindle's vision will also be reduced this turn, and it looks like Drake is maybe as well. That could just be a vision bug. I'm pretty sure he does not get affected by rain. Unaffected by rain except vision, so he's still affected by rain vision, or lack of vision. I'm just used to Penny when it comes to weather-related effects, because Penny's a monster in Days of Ruin. Battlecopter gets good strike up there. Infantry does get find the E-tier. Infantry, tank, and tank. Does get some good strikes, takes out the battlecopter. Medium tank will strike the artillery. Unfortunately for Drake, Kindle's a monster of advanced force by web. Yep, very much true. E-tier, tank, and infantry. She can be played around, but it can be difficult to sometimes play around. After all, if there's a wall there, every single city within a wall could be not a hard point, but a breaking point. She inverts the a lot of the urban terrain. Oh yeah, she inverts urban terrain. Let's just leave it at that with Urban Blight. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. It does have an Urban Blight available. 105 versus 106, so they're still pretty even at the moment. And the front lines are, well, distant from each other. Trying to flip some properties. She does have 20,000 income versus 18. This map is probably not great for a high society as much. How much firepower should you get from high society right now? Plus 63, which is still a decent amount. And enough properties in the center, it's probably more of an Urban Blight map than a high society map, that's for sure. And when it comes to high society, it does get affected by the lab there, so there is a reason for her to capture the lab that's behind her face. And pops Urban Blight there. Does get a good strike there. Does machine gun down, artillery in range of the anti-air, but a little bit exposed, no longer exposed. That Urban Blight hit a battlecopter. That medium tank is toast. It's out of vision range, so she does not see the medium tank. Nope. She had no vision of the medium tank, so it is not toast. Yep, that's the thing about vision. Sometimes you just don't know. The fog of war is real. Tanks heading down south help contain this advance. These forces here being a little bit slow. 3 capture progress remaining, 3 capture progress remaining. Relatively passive turn. We got tank, actually got a Drake battlecopter, infantry. 119 versus 128, so Kindle has a slight advantage. Remember player 2, add the day-to-day funds to hers. Interrupts and really interrupts, but 3 turns is not a huge interrupt. 3 turns left from both those captures. Try and flip some properties, very nice. Which can be used for bait, particularly for the artillery. And not mention, if the infantry unit gets struck, she can simply pull back the infantry unit there, put a tank on top of it, and retaliate for a severe amount of damage. Her capture bait is far more effective than other COs. I always find her urban effect is more of a retaliation tool than a combat tool. Takes out the infantry unit there. Good artillery placement there by Drake. Join and captures there. And captures normally, and join and captures there. So it looks like these two properties will be flipped. I don't think... And I can always send one of them back down to 1 HP and get interrupt rather than being stopped. This one could be stopped. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. Captures 2 properties. And looks like she's going in. Does not see the ET at the moment. Does fully stop the capture. But she's probably going to lose a battlecopter. And it's going to be expensive stop capture. That's for sure. But looks like she's actually going to make an advance towards the HQ. Drake can, of course, interrupt with a tsunami and or typhoon. But looks like she's going in for the capture. This battlecopter has 8 fuel remaining. It will consume 2 fuel per turn, so it does not have too much. If it moves maximum range, it will crash itself. But it can probably at least get 1 turn with 7 movement range before not crashing itself. Drake should focus the anti-air to hit the full health one, rather than the one that's almost out of fuel as well. Trying to flip this property, and it looks like it will be flipped unless Urban Blight comes on in. Even though just delay it, probably. It's the full health one. Pops the tsunami. Oh, he's making a play for the battlecopter. It'll have 2 fuel next turn, which means it can only move 2 turns. If it moves 1 tile, at least it can stay afloat or flying for another turn, but still not great. And I mentioned some of this other stuff is getting pretty wounded and low in fuel. Drake's starting to blitz with a number of tanks, artillery in range of one of the properties there. This is probably going to be Urban Blight turn. Could be a High Society turn. Probably Urban Blight. Then can get a good shot on another one of these tanks, but Kindle's going to be wounded. 104,000 versus 134. Yep. But this battlecopter is now down to 2 fuel. It can only move 1 tile before and not be sunk at the start of the next turn. So it can move forward this tile here, get a shot off, or move right here, get a shot off on one of these guys. And then maybe can try flying another tile, but even then, that battlecopter is probably crashed due to a lack of fuel, rather than being shot up by an anti-air. Battlecopters only consume 2 fuel per turn, while planes like jets, stealths, and bombers consume 5. Battlecopters only consume 2, and Eagles minus 2 fuel per turn for aircraft means helicopters just don't consume fuel per turn. They had 4. They had 4 fuel remaining, so it went from 4 to 2. I suppose you don't see it because I try to maximize the window size, so you don't actually see it. My apologies. It's one of those things like, do you guys want to see all the little information left, which is large and not relevant, unless the specific case, or just larger map size? Sorry about that. That's sort of my own call. What's more important, the size of the map, or seeing occasionally fuel, ammo, and capture progress can still somewhat see? It is my own sort of choice there. Battlecopter, tank and infantry. But yeah, this battlecopter has 2 fuel, so it will crash next turn. He does not need to take time to shoot it down. Let's see if he realizes it. He does shoot it down. That was not needed, though it does give him power charge. But it may have been worth it to try to shoot an infantry unit there. Artillery's in range of that tank now. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. 124 versus 102 with the day-to-day income. They're still pretty even. True, it does put him in artillery range. Oh, Recon spots the artillery. Got lucky they didn't take it out that one. That tank's probably at 1% health. Will take time to finish off that one. This battlecopter is 31 fuel. This battlecopter is at 29 fuel. Does Finish off there with artillery. Could have done that first, or... No, it was the infantry unit to finish off. They already fired. Hits that tank twice. We do have now another tsunami available. With the amount of battlecocks on the field, it could warrant another tsunami. And just play the fuel game against Kindle. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. I mean, she's doing quite well with battlecopters. And Drake has a number of artillery and medium tanks, so the battlecopter play is not bad. But I do think she needs to get an APC out in the field for the battlecopters now. Does pick off some units there, but the tank is in artillery range, just out of vision range at the moment. Pops the power. So now some of these battlecopters being preloaded. This battlecopter is 15 fuel, 16 fuel. This one's now at it's now at 0 fuel. Does hit the artillery there with the anti-air. Tank, infantry. 90,000 versus 108, so they're still pretty even. We could see an urban blight. But don't see any boosted strikes other than maybe on the 7 health tank that's behind the HQ. Hits the artillery there. I forgot the fact that recon was there to slot that tank. A lot of units pulling back, trying to get some resupply. The infantry units need some new burgers. Or rations, really. Infantry, tank. I don't think there's any burger ration. Recently, the United States Army has released the... Or at least the supplier for the Army, for MRE, at least a pizza MRE. My favorite was definitely the shredded beef and barbecue sauce. That and cheese tortellini. Cheese tortellini is probably still my favorite, though. When it comes to US Army rations, the MREs, the vegetarian ones are actually pretty good. Because they get a lot of extra food, make it a bit more filling, and not to mention it offers a little bit more sugary items like a piece of candy, like Reese's Pieces and other things of that sorts. Anti-air, infantry, artillery. Let's see, don't see a good turn for Urban Blight. Could interrupt the capture, but it's already going to be interrupted. Hits that unit there, finds the artillery. Pops the Urban Blight, so maybe going to try to finish off this tank. Can get a booster strike on the artillery there, which could be quite nice. So maybe this was a good turn for Urban Blight. Battlecopter has 4 fuel remaining, so it could probably join into this 9 health battlecopter and give what little fuel it has. Yeah. Problem is, it's going to have to spend its next turn with 2 tiles and we'll get it joined. So that's going to be a little bit limiting. Battlecopter, recon, tank, and infantry. Problem parking the tank there. It means, gets trapped. That's also not good. Does wound the tank there, but and wounds the tank again. This tank will get a good retaliation of this tank there. You think push way forward, in range the artillery, which got revealed the worst time, but does get hit by the battlecopter. And yeah, I suppose the medium tank's not going to be too big of an issue. Gets trapped over there. And Kindle can start flipping some of these properties. 20,000 versus 18. Tank, and infantry. This 2 health artillery, I think, should fall back rather than take time to shoot. So the 9 health battlecopter can strike the 4 health battlecopter, and this 2 fuel remaining battlecopter can merge onto it. And donate... Well, won't donate any fuel, just donate 1 health. Now that side's really teched up. We got 1 medium tank and for our tech up, and that's about it. Most sides have been satisfied for other units. 4 strikes battlecopters are not great. Gets the retaliation damage there. Sends the 2 health battlecopter for a recon run. It's a tank twice. It's that infantry unit there. There's 11 capture progress remaining. Now has 0 or 20 remaining. Artillery does strike the medium tank there. Possibly, but Neo-tanks will be whittled down quite a bit by the global damage. Remember as well, her income is 20,000, which is actually not too high. It's hard to squeeze out a Neo-tank if you're below 22,000. In fact, if you're below 24,000 on a 3-base map. Does lose the battlecopter there, loses artillery there. T-copter, artillery, infantry, and mech. 99-9 versus 110, so Kindle has a pretty good advantage at the moment. And we could see an Urban Blight to get booster strike off to multiple targets here, so this may be a good turn for our Urban Blight. Yeah, I think could be a good turn. Starting to capture some more properties. Booster strike there on the E-tier. Hits the artillery. That's in the auxiliary. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. No booster strike onto down here, but she still does not have utilized her Urban Blight. Could likely see a Typhoon next turn. All depends how much power charge, but it's very likely. In range, the wow, that artillery has so many notifications over. I can't even see its health. It has 2 health. Now it's at 4, and now no longer has trouble fuel or ammo. There's a battlecopter there. Hits the tank there. Hits the recon thrice. And here comes the Typhoon. He has no reason why hold off on it other than trying to avoid his own lack of vision negative effect. Alright, flip 2 properties here. 21,000 versus 17 at the moment. Infantry, 8-tier, mech. Kindle could eye for High Society. Right now, High Society would provide her 22 plus 66% firepower, which is quite significant, but not a lot of stuff in range, at least in vision range, so she may want to hold off both Urban Blight and High Society so she gets some more vision. Does pop Urban Blight there, which will interrupt this capture, put this one down to 1% health. No, should have used the infantry unit for that. Does get boost strike there. Yeah, should have wiped it out with the infantry unit there, and then let the tank get a boost strike onto that tank. Recon, infantry, battlecopter, infantry. Though maybe it was out of vision range, I wasn't paying close enough attention. No, the recon had full vision of it. Maybe the tank was out of movement range? Thought it was... didn't use all 6 movement range though. Either way, ends of 103, Drake starts from 84, so Kindle still has a nice little advantage. What else? Battlecopter gets a nice little recon pass. Almost enough for another Urban Blight as well. And of course, with the medium tank here, and not much properties, could get some good booster strike there, plus another booster strike here. So there's good opportunity for Urban Blight. Yeah, squeeze on Urban Blight and then attack, I would say. Just needs to get a little bit of damage going. Probably could have used that to get a boost strike on this tank there instead. Hits the battlecopter there, hits that infantry unit there. Focus on that tank there. Could have got booster strike. There's a boost strike there. Urban Blight's now available. Won't interrupt the captures that, so it looks like she's going to lose 2 properties this next turn. May gain 1 the following though. 4 capture progress remaining. Anti-hero will get the battlecopter. Could hit this battlecopter, which would be a better target for it. But it does not have vision of it. And will probably be struck by artillery. Interior infantry recon. 19 versus 19. Oh, I didn't see that one being captured as well, so it's back up to 21 versus 17. And 2 more captures there. This one's at 4. It's the anti-air, giving more free reign for the battle copter, though we do have this anti-air in the region. And this one has at 31 fuel. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and infantry. In range of artillery there. Tank, tank, tank. Gets that tank there. Recon straight forward. Battlecopter gets knocked out. Infantry, 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 and battlecopter. Save 7,000 funds. I'm pretty sure stealths are allowed on this map. No black bombs, stealths yes, so maybe she's saving up for something big. Or multiple big things. After all, with 22,000 income, she can deploy a neo-tank every turn with 2,000 fund drain twice for the infantry. Barring repairs, of course. Like this tank there. Try and flip this property down here. Battlecopter maybe in range to hit the artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is. Possible urban blight to interrupt it to buy her a little bit of time. Mech, infantry, infantry, and T-copter. Saves a little bit of funds there. Try and flip a property. It's the anti-air, and that one infantry unit takes out the anti-air there. It also means this battlecopter can advance far more safely. This anti-air goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, very far away from the battlecopter. Pops Urban Blight there, which does interrupt the capture there. Recon gets a boost strike on the neck, nuking it. And looks like she will be able to save this property at the current rate. And does go for neo-tank and double infantry. With 3,000 funds, she could perhaps get another neo-tank next turn. Anti-air and APC mech. Pops Tsunami. APC doesn't seem that useful to me. Oh, that's why. He does go ahead and resign. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight. My voice is starting to go out, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and